Hi, everybody. Welcome to another installment of the Open Book Tour. Today we are thrilled to have with us actually two people. We have Linda Costello and Lucy Costello. They're both with us today. Linda is an extraordinary artist, architect, renderer of architectural drawings for actual people, for structures that real people live in. But mostly she creates, in the world that interests us, her imaginary world of pop-up, three-dimensional, movable critters, people, prostitutes, just the society that all of us love. I think I met Linda 15 to 20 years ago and have been a passionate fan ever since. So, without further ado, here is Linda Costello and her world of pop-up and movable books.
Do lift me up. Gosh, where do I start? I never, jot down notes for anything when I'm going to speak because I'll just lose them. So, back in '85, I made my first pop-up book, and this is going to sound sappy, but this woman I knew back from Boise, Idaho, and we both found ourselves in Seattle, and she started she had an import market, or import business. She was importing these little things, and she wanted to have a thing for a hospital. Her nephew had leukemia or something. Wanted kids to have something for these to play with on their laps, in bed. And so, isn't that weird? Isn't that cute though? I loved it. And I couldn't find any, back in the mid-'80s, there was nothing being built except the Columbia Tower, So as far as architecture, broken. Anyway, it's supposed to be there, they clip in or they can just move around and, Oh, wait, I forgot. This is just my first book and it's super simple. I had to do only five glue tabs per spread. Some of them, this one has, This was the favorite page. How do you do? So I did a series of 6 of these books that have dolls, and each one came with like 3 dolls stuck to it. And, the first 2 books, they were assembled in Korea, and then they'd send them back. We had to shrink wrap them because the dolls were falling off and bent and stuff. And so I remember going into Kirkland where we had a warehouse, and I won't be able to do it, but my son was helping assemble these, and he'd grab one, and if it was broken, he'd throw it and kick it out of the back of his foot. It was really cool. Anyway.
Linda, is that book still available?
I think you can buy them for $1, on Abe or some ABE.
Not for $1, I'm sure.
I don't know. All ripped up, but actually free. Anyway, I brought some, just a few other commercial books. I did this one. I like it because it's sort of, wait. Where's the phallic-y thing? And this is picked up. I had done about 40 lighthouses, and some committee chose some that were just kind of all alike. Where'd it go? Chose a lot of these, but that's okay. That's my favorite because I got these elbow mechanical things. Ooh.
Did they choose on the basis of geography rather than structure?
Pardon me?
Well, I mean, for the book, did they want ones from Lake Michigan?
Yeah,
and from the
yeah.
East Coast
And
the West
they
Coast?
didn't do any from the Northwest. I was just livid. We have the best ones, and they didn't do any. So, yeah, this is Split Rock or something. I can't remember, but I couldn't find, actual. I saw billions of photos of lighthouses, but no real drawings. And I'd call these keepers of the light committees and things, and they wouldn't send me. They didn't have what do you call them, blueprints. And one place sent me a T-shirt that happened to have a blueprint on it, so that helped. And another place, I said, well, I just need some basic dimensions. And so I got a call later, email later, and she said, well, the bottom of the walls are 8 inches thick. So that didn't help, but it was like really, it was a fun book, sort of. It was. This is a book I always like to play with. I always bring in it, pass around or something, maybe even. But it's done by a friend named Matthew Reinhardt. He does a lot of pop-up books. Each page has, billions of little things. And that's amazing. I did one pop-up in here, not a big one. Dinky one. Where'd it go? Is that it? Yeah. Oh, I hope it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. It goes boink. But the last page is really cool. It's got these isn't that cool? I wish I'd done the whole thing. Oh, well. And this one I brought as a sample of just white, white paper books. It's just like, I just love it. And I helped work on this, but no. This is what's his name. I forgot his name. David Pelham. This is a David Pelham also, yeah.
Question. Do you do the watercolor work of these towers?
I didn't. I wanted to because I wanted to do architectural drawing, playing out
Right. Okay.
But it was children's book children's book illustrator, so it looks kind of kidsy, which is fine. This is a really simple pop-up book I did for Christmas. What do you call? God, so embarrassing. Everything's broken. These things are getting old. This didn't come with dolls, but I had a fun time paint. I did the illustration in this, except for some of it. I had hired the Flying Penguin girls to help me. Because I was good at the walls and, house-looking stuff. It's a gigantic dog. Anyway, this is one of my favorites. This came with dollies too. But I did also a dollhouse, and they wanted something for boys. Whoever wanted a boy thing, but I saw the dollhouse a few years later, and it was the same exact dollhouse, and it was in a client's house on their coffee table, and the only thing changed was the colors. The colors were changed, and I found out because we had my associate and I had gone ahead and patented things and copyright it, and because we had text in it, and all they have to do is change it 10%, and then you just, it's theirs. That was weird to learn, but I learned it. I brought a whole smattering of little things that I found I've done over the years. And X-ray man. This was an accident on the Xerox machine. He was originally Meat Man, but I pushed the opposite color thing, so Meat Man was pretty gross. Flames or something. Some of these are pretty old. There's my first resume for walking around Seattle trying to get a job, and that's before I met Patty with her hospital idea. there's a Denise and Nancy. Denise Harris and Nancy Cody and I worked on this. It's not so old yet, but then we were gonna, rejuvenate it and modernize it and make it more complicated so that we could send it out. That fixed it. Thank you, Brenda. Well, this was a book I did with a guy named Dick Dudley, and it was ridiculous. It's except for Peapod books, it's the only book I've done that had little scenes in it, little guys and scenes and stuff, because I like to do books that have almost life-size, just objects or something. It's hard to do stories. I just, in mid-80s is when I started doing pop-ups, and I just went crazy with them. I loved it, but then I found out about artist books. Never heard of that before, and so I kind of sort of juried at our local Bainbridge Arts and Crafts, and I got to be in a show, and
Was that Minnow Bunny?
and I was driving down there, and I started crying because I thought, oh, they're gonna say, this is too weird. It's not a real artist book.
Yes, we had at Bainbridge Arts and Crafts, there was a public reading of Minnow Bunny.
That's right, a film.
And we filmed it.
Videoed it.
Because it's really, do we have it here?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
You can just feel the fur.
Yeah, can you read the
Oh, that's a lot.
text from there?
Once upon a time, there was a magnificently handsome bunny rabbit with very long ears. She spent most of her time sitting in the sun munching on greens. She wasn't sure why, but lately she'd been experiencing a slight feeling of unease. It was not the same feeling like just before an earthquake, an animal anomaly. No, it was more like she was supposed to be somewhere else doing something else or something.
Her 2-pound children had all grown up and moved out into the world. Occasionally, she would babysit for a few of her 68,122 grandchildren. Life just seemed to be flying so quickly. Her friends all told her, relax, retire already, stop and smell the roses.
One day she was nibbling about and she came upon an impossibly huge.
Here. Oh,
Oh my goodness. Red flower. She moved into it and there was a tiny bemickled fairy.
be mickled. What's the heck's that?
Bewinged. Bewinged.
Bewinged.
They looked at each
Are you
other
trying to make me flunk?
with jaws dropped. The grass fell from her mouth.
Well, hello. I'll tell you what, if you bring me a chocolate cake, I will grant you a wish, said the fairy.
Aha.
Wait.
Okay, if nothing else, this might make her stop and actually try to figure out what it was she wanted. Okay, I'll see you later. And she bounced away. She then came upon a human family having a picnic. The 2 children each had a toy that was a stuffed bunny. How did these rabbits get that way, with all that button eyes and all? She decided that would be her wish, to be a toy stuffed rabbit carried around, loved, kissed, and played with. Oh my God. No one will ever know how she did it. But the next day, that bunny rabbit delivered a beautiful espresso chocolate cake to the fairy. Holy cow, what a cake! He exclaimed, almost falling over in disbelief. He was overcome with excitement, and so were several nearby snakes.
Some cake, said a snake. She closed her eyes and started to say her wish, but before she could get it all out, zap.
Zap. Now, where the hell did I put that cake?
This was the best opening night that Bainbridge Arts and Crafts has ever had, I think. Because we had the official reading of this book, and it made everyone joyous. So.
This is good to hear people laughing. It's a bunch of sort of how I think about it. Well, first I do a bunch of what do you call it? Prototypes, you know, with cardboard and hit and miss and trial and error, and then I start trying to then I'll take it apart and trace it if it works, you know. So this is a bunch of things, and this is a commercial one. This one. To do commercial ones, you set it up in something called a nesting sheet, and it's sort of. Well, this was a preliminary nesting sheet setup, but you know, try to get everything really close, and it's usually 50 by whatever that is, 51 or 2 or something. But that's the old days. Now it's on the waves or something. Digital. They just send it somehow.
And what do they do with the nesting sheet?
Oh, then the illustrator, it's usually illustrated, and then they have them in big blocks, and then they have these die cuts. And then they hammer them out, you know, and then 3,000 people put it together in China or Thailand. This is my first big one. It's not a book, it's just a thing. Woo! What is it? I don't know, but it wouldn't stay put, so I had to bolt it. And, you know, it got hinges and crap. This is one of my most funnest. What do you? Well, let's see. Hattie's House of Pleasures and Amusements. Did a bunch of t-shirts of like some 90s and stuff, you know. I had a great time. Just obsessed. I was obsessed with these soiled doves. Harlots, whatever. Ladies.
Wallace, Idaho.
Wallace, thank you. Exactly. Oh, one guy rides this cow. It's a long story, never mind. So each of these character dolls, I made a character book, and each one has their own little spread, their little, you know, rooms and little cupboards and story, and gosh, stop me, please. But, and these guys come out, and then you can, I don't know how to, well, these pop off, so you can get, some of them are glued on, so you can't really, you have to cut them out, I guess. This is Mermaiden. I had a good time with her, little, you know, treasures. Her story is ridiculously full of puns. It's real quick. I mean, really quick. This is fun.
Yes,
Can you see it?
Mermaiden, her real name was always the Odd Fish. She could swim before she could walk, which might explain her greenish parlor pallor. Not one, K-N-O-T, to beach herself and wait for her ship to come in. When 14 years old, she embarked on a quest and set her sails west. She didn't head for just any port in a storm, but followed her compass to a safe harbor and dropped anchor at Hattie's. Her naughty nautical manner was reeling them in. Hook, line, and sinker, she netted her gold. It's hard to fathom how Mermaiden could maneuver while wearing the lower half of a fish. But those land-loving seamen were were lured by her welcome aboard ways. They buoyantly shelled out many clams, which floated her boat right down to the bank.
Sick. Isn't that so fun to death?
Linda,
Here's Lacey.
are the men's faces people you know?
They're from the newspaper. It might be somebody local. I don't know. I adjusted some of them a little bit.
Also distinct.
One was going to be Josh, but no, I didn't do it.
Yeah, that would
Never
have just
made it.
weird.
That would be weird.
In Hattie's house.
This is she's got her own little greenhousey thing going on.
So
Here's some of the guys.
you wrote the text?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
scribbled it.
How do you interact between what you cut out and what the artist does? How much artist work do you do yourself?
This I did all myself.
All of it?
Yeah. Some of it's collage. You know, you'll
Yeah.
see that like that. Something I didn't do that. But
Which one rides the cow?
pardon me.
Which one rides the cow?
Oh gosh, where is he?
Gotta see.
Not this guy. This guy.
Oh. Flat
Oh, did I show this yet? This was the this was the part that has their bedrooms in it and stuff. This is the lobby where you come in and you make your choice and little keys, you know, for the girls. Oh gosh, cool. Huh? Oh, does it look like it? There's Rose's room, and oh, this is Mermaidens. Ridiculous. I went through thousands of clam beds before I just got so complicated. I just, fine, that's fine. I'll just. This is Lacey's. Her name is Laudanum Lacey. She ended up kind of sad ending. I mean, never mind. She had laudanum hidden all over the place. She stole sheriff's badges and stuff. She really liked guys in uniforms and kind of, or guys with badges anyway. I like this thing. It goes. Boop.
Now it truly pops.
Yeah. What's her name? Trixie? Oh, Trixie. Yeah, her family was a circus family. I just still want to add a trapeze to the potato.
Oh, what a great idea.
Here's the
What a
gardenias. She has a flower bed. But this was wrapping paper. I didn't paint that. Ta-da. Inherited some of her stuff. This is called Notions and Leavings. This is almost a serious book, sort of. Not really, but it's about going through Grandma's drawers and stuff after she died, and we found all these bits of lace and sewing pieces and stuff. And this is one. These are like from the 1800s. Ooh. There's something else. It's just some sample thing. There's a pop-up. I worked on this in Newport, Idaho? Newport, Washington. Well, it's split in the middle. And because I couldn't work at my mom's house because there was too much going on. She lived near Priest Lake in Idaho, North Idaho. So I went to this little restaurant-y thing. I worked on this there. The guy gave me a task light and everything. It was nice. What the heck? Oh. I can't remember these things. Ooh, what's that? I don't know. There's some buttons. I love buttons. Here's the scary. It's sort of scary, but it's supposed to be kind of like, I don't know. It's just a bunch of stuff I glued together. Had a good time. Except for the needles. But this is an old card I stuck in there. A pincushion. Woo. Do you recognize that? Oh, there's some really old lace. This is just. This has paper. These are paper flowers. Sort of bumpy, or what's that called? Embossed. This is leftover lace everywhere. I don't know why I wanted to show this, but oh yeah, because it's
Oh,
my word,
yes,
it is.
it's pretty heavy. What's this?
There we
Oh yeah, Tommy Dorsey. This was in a. These were in a show at Bainbridge Arts and Crafts, and the theme of the show was doors. So I did a Tommy Dorsey thing. I don't know. Houses. It was mostly houses and buildings and stuff, and pretty simple architectural tools. Ooh. You like that one? He's an architect. And this is the last word. That's one of those things, you know, you open and then you see all the guts and stuff. I can't see, I don't have my glasses on. Okay.
That's straight.
Ooh.
Oh my word.
Did somebody say, oh my word?
Me, I did.
I heard that.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just
My word.
amazing. I'm just speechless.
This is there's this guy named Richard Feynman who he's a scientist or a physicist, and he was the guy that figured out why the Challenger crashed and all that stuff. But he writes wonderful things, and he said that it's just as wonderful to imagine the universe as a big turtle on an elephant and all stacked up and stuff, as it is to imagine these planets around swinging in space. Some are light and some are dark and some are on fire. I mean, really, it's just, never mind. I don't know what I meant, but here's a little thing. A lot of my books don't really have a story. They're just sort of things.
It's interesting where you get your inspiration.
Yes.
You know,
I don't know where.
that's interesting.
This is for your. Oh crap! Okay. This is for your words notes. This is Homeward Bound. A whole bunch more buildings. Homeward Bound. Get it? Okay. Give me that. Oh. This is what I wanted to do with the lighthouse. The lighthouses to the elevations. That would have been cool, I thought. I guess I wrote stuff on all these. What? Double edges. Ooh, words. Or it could be sword. That's why double edged. Never mind. Brain broke when I made this. Oh my god! Some of my finishes would stick.
Did you do the eco-printing yourself?
Pardon me?
Did you do the eco-printing?
No, isn't that cool
That's
paper
gorgeous.
though? I have just racks of artist paper that I gotta live long enough to use. This one has word bound all around it. Get it? This one. What else? Oh, here's my one of my paper engineering kits. This is a medium one. Stuff. I like dentist tools, and although I don't know where my little, the little mirrors they put in your mouth and hinge. I love that.
One that appreciates.
Oh, cool.
Is it a makeup kit?
I don't know. I found it at a,
Wow.
what is it, Goodwill or something.
I see what
Yeah, with leather, or fake leather. Oh, I have one that's a fishing tower. And then I have one like this. It's perfect. Has everything I need. It does. Oh. This one I was. What did I do? I just messed everything up. Oh wait, I gotta do that first. It's a very tricky thing. Bing bong bong. Smash crash. This is a Barbie doll thing. Remember dream houses? I think the theme of the show at Bainbridge Crash was 1962. And that's when they, whoa! Anyway. What's in there? I wonder how you do it there. So Cynthia seems to, you had some Barbies, right? Or did you?
I don't think so. I think we only,
I mean, when you're growing up.
oh, it was a little after my time.
Yes.
Yes, I played with them.
I put in some lights and all these weird things, but.
Look.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Too much. I mean,
So what is this? Oh my goodness.
this was a real from the Barbie dream house. Fun, 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 fun.
Oh.
But I had a good time redoing some things, and these were cool to make. What's that little?
hangers.
Oh, how did it turn the light on? I forgot. Wow, just a second. Very important. It doesn't work. Okay. Battery dead. This has these little lights. Almost. I'll put this over here and figure it out later. This is what I did recently, and I took it back. She purchased it from the museum, and I took it home to tweak it. And oh, for heaven's sake! Anyway, I've almost done it. It's almost done. And this is the only text in the whole thing. Until we have a reliable time machine, we pretty much make up whatever we, I can't see it, want to about how the universe was formed. So mine is formed out of paper. And so it's just images. It's nothing, no story. That was the whole story. These are so easy to make, you guys. I could show you 2 minutes. Here's like a nebula or something. Maybe. Josh, don't make fun of me later.
I'm playing with the dolls.
Good. These are real diamonds on here. Oh. This is a Starfinder. You've seen these before. Sometimes they're called planetariums or something like that. And I made about 10 of these because the very last little star, I have to start over. Maybe not 10, but quite a few. So, oops, sorry. Here's the one like the pincushion one.
Yeah.
So, that's here. How's that? Let's go with this one. This one I figured out how to make it less. Ow! That was just silly. It's just so many good papers out there to use. I've never made paper. I don't need to. I don't want to. As you can see, I have trouble binding books. Okay. Oh, I haven't seen this for a long time. Circles an endless line. Profound, profound. I just made a bunch of circly things.
Wonderful.
That's the box. I've never done design work like that, and it's so fun. Maybe not effective. Come on, say, it's nice, Linda.
Very nice.
Thank you. This is those little reinforcement, all right, for your papers with holes in them. I was just going crazy doing this thing. Oh man, cats were helping. This has like an accordion book kind of thing. What do you call it? Tunnel book. Tunnel. Got a hair in my Your head's going like this. I love these old papers that I steal from other things. What's this? I can't. It's just trying to look scientific. There's some things dancing in a circle. Boop. You guys are so nice. You're so nice.
How long does it take you to finish? How long does it take you to finish a book like that?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
That depends. You know, sometimes it takes like 2 years, like the prostitute. 2 years of silliness.
Go pass that around, Rachel.
Okay. So I take it out of the box.
So I have a question. Do you just work on one book at a time?
Nuh-uh.
Okay.
No, work on many, and then I'll lose the one I feel like working on, you know. And can't believe you thought this. But of all people, it would.
You saw this, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think this was the second one I made.
Well, hold it.
I didn't cry when I took it down to show it at Bainbridge Arts and Crafts. For this.
These I'm pretty sure.
How many assistants? You. Well, my cats, but they do the opposite. This is Crow, not to be outdone. I mean, it's kind of a story you've heard around. Maybe. You can see through this little marble thing. This little marble of the planet Earth. Isn't that cool? Oh. Crow pulled his head out and looked. Where it is? He saw a surge of cardinals. Oh, this book is in. He saw unusually clustered hummingbird bouquet. What? This was so fun to make. This one has just the flamingo only has 3 little tabs. I just think, what does he say? Nothing. Oh, he saw a flamingo. He saw an unfurled peacock. I don't know where the thing is here for this.
Right here.
Thank you. He saw a pheasant phenomenon. Phenomenon. Doo, doo. Sorry. Got that from my grandkids too. Little boys and big boys. Geniuses.
Oh, love it.
Crow's not one to be outdone. You don't think this is hard to do with cats around? Oh man. Cats were just ridiculous.
That's great.
That's
Boom.
really great.
And you don't care that the stuff sticks out over the edge.
No, because when I'm making pop-ups for, for mass market or whatever, they had to be within an 1/8 of an inch and had to be shipped and stuff and shelved. Well, these are unshelvables, I call them.
I'll vouch for that. They are unshelvable.
Oh, God, I forgot about this book. Can I have it back? No. That's it. I just can't think of anything else. Well,
there's Angler.
oh my gosh. Where's
It's too
that?
big.
It's really big. Where do you go? Can I put,
Yeah.
nope, I have to put it on the binding, don't I? Boy, this is fun. It's like Christmas, all these colorful pieces.
Your drawings are gorgeous. Did you study a lot of drawing, or did you just practice?
Oh, I thought it was pretty architectural. I never thought of myself as an artist. I don't think I'm an artist, but I really like to sit and make things look like they're curved or something,
You don't think of yourself as an artist?
Well, it's hard to. If you're an architect, that's why I was Linda, architect's a little more, I don't know, Linda I grew up with. But like when I was playing first base my whole life, it was Lou because of my last name, Costello, wherever it went. Lou Costello, never mind. But I do have a few samples of, I just forgot about, of what I call workbooks that I put together while I'm trying to make these books. And some of them get ridiculous. I have like 100 of these things. Some of them never ended up being a book. This was this is one of about 4 for the prostitutes.
The ladies of the evening.
I'm sorry, you're right. The poor little soiled up. This was the circles one. And I was just looking through this and I thought, wow, this is really funny. Because all of a sudden you'll see a and it's just scattered because I don't know what I'm going to do. But this was the dotty thing. I put the pattern up, the thing that looks like a whole bunch of picnic tables with dots like this.
Oh.
So I made this twice.
Wow.
I don't know.
Linda?
You gotta have
Linda?
work books. Yes.
Did you bring any of your journals? 'Cause you also create daily journals that are
Oh.
works of art.
Huh, no, I
Those
didn't.
have swear words in them.
Oh, yeah. You invented swear words. Oh, all right. Some of these I had to re-glue or something. Oh, I did 2 stage sets, pop-up stage sets for BPA. What time is it? And this is part of it. Did anyone know Ed Ritchie? Do you remember Ed Ritchie? He's the guy that, he's incredible genius inventor. He lived on Bainbridge. You know how you go in the bathroom, you go like this, and the water turns on, or the toilet flushes by itself? He invented those. And they're all over the world, and he sold patent for $20,000.
Oh.
And the very first one, never mind. The first one was on one of the ferries, and on the car deck bathroom, in the car. The people were just be lined up testing it. Anyway, he helped me assemble it. This is huge, and we had to fit up to, 22 people, 22 kids up here. Up on there's a whole nother section that fell off somewhere. And anyway, it was a fun set.
Which was that?
This was it was a set for BPA for a story called, can't remember. Some scary story. It had all kinds of, it had
It's
mummies and
It was
things.
like It's Alive?
Yeah, It's
Yeah.
Alive. It was kind of put together and written by the students. They had all these critters and the nose lit up. It was very cool. But,
Linda, what paper do you use for these? What paper do you find for the rigid part? In other words, How do you find your paper so that it will stand up?
That's the weirdest question anyone's ever asked me. Sometimes I adhere several layers of something, and sometimes I think it's going to work and be strong, and I have to go back into it. Sometimes I use wood in the back, popsicle stick. But usually, for something large and really stiff, it has to be like maybe almost illustration board, but maybe. I use a lot of poster board too.
Okay.
Trying to pare down. I'm done. Thank you.